Hello everybody, and welcome to Arma 3. Welcome to the first part in a two-part little mini-series I'll be doing on little tips and tricks of Zeusing. In this video, we're going to be covering the basics of how to set up a basic Zeus mission in the Eden editor. So, without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? So, first thing you want to do. You want to think about what kind of mission you want to do. So, for the case of today, and for this video, we're going to say that the players are going to be a 9-man squad, and their objective will be to secure Air Station Mike 26 from CSAT. Alright, so we now have an idea of what our mission is. Let's get started. First thing you want to think about after that is yourself. You, the Zeus. You need to place down a character for yourself. So let's put down an officer. As you can see, there is a red ring around the character. I'll put another one down just so you can see the difference. In here, you don't see that ring. What does this red ring mean? This red ring indicates that that is the quote-unquote player. Player as in not just a playable slot in multiplayer, but also it is the slot specifically. Well, not slot, but character specifically, you will load in as if you press the play scenario option. So, how do we go about making this character a Zeus? Well, we either double left click, or you can right click on it and go to the attributes section. Under variable name, you'll want to enter something. Just whatever it is, you want to remember it. For the cases of now, we'll just put in Zeus. There are other options based on what mods you have that will allow you to do even more if you so wish, but we're not going to mess with those today. We're just going to press OK. Cool, that's all set. Let's place the players down. Since we still have units open, we're going to make them a squad, so let's custom make ourselves a squad. We'll start with a squad leader. And with the squad leader, we'll attach a combat lifesaver, a heavy gunner, an AT missile specialist, a explosive specialist, and then 4 riflemen. Now, as you can see, I only added 1 rifleman right now. Here's why. We're going to go into the attributes of the rifleman, and we're going to change it to playable, and press OK. As you can see, now there's a purple ring around the little icon, instead of a red one. This indicates that it will be a player slot, meaning that in the multiplayer lobby, players will be able to select it and play as it. So while we have it selected, we're going to Control-C and to copy and paste it with Control-V. We're going to highlight these 3 and connect them to any one of these guys to connect them to the squad as a whole. And the same way we made the rifleman a player, we're going to do the same thing to each of the other 3. Do be careful though, as I just noticed that I did to myself. If you're not careful, you may accidentally change a different setting. Be careful what you do, that when you click, you don't misclick and accidentally change a setting. It can affect the playability of that character, whether it's an AI or a player. Better to be safe than sorry. Alright, we have our players. Now, let's talk about systems. How do we make this Zeus character an actual Zeus? Well, we're going to Systems, into Modules, and at the very bottom, Zeus. We're going to then place down the Game Master icon, and enter the attributes of that. And in the Owner field, we're going to type in the exact variable name we typed in for the Zeus, and for our character, whatever you put in. Alright. Now, since we have this open, let's put down a Teef thing, as in this case, we'll be using Teef as most units do. So we're going to enforce the usage. In here, this allows you to set whatever you want for specific settings, and under channel name and password, allows you to set your the TeamSpeak channel name you will enforce usage in, and then the password if that specific channel requires a password in order to enter. So we're just going to leave it at there for now. And then we're going to go into multiplayer. and find a respawn, and click on respawn position. Now let's find a place where we want the players to respawn at. Right here is fine, we'll place it down there, we'll double click on it, change leading side to blue 4, and give it a name. And we'll call it Stratus Air Base. Cool, we'll press OK. Now since we're over here, let's go back to Objects and go to Props, the yellow icon. Let's put down a box for the arsenal. So let's go into Supplies, Storage, and pick one of these. Let's go with the box, just the typical cargo net box, and we'll just leave it there. Alright, we can mess with it later. We'll touch that upon that in the next video. So, alright, we have that set up. Now what? Well, pretty simple. Now we go to set up our target AO. So, we'll go to Air Station Mike 26, and we'll take a look at it. We'll do a quick survey. There's a few towers we can set up for defenses. Good to know. Alright, let's set up our minimum. Now, when you're setting up any AI that is not the players, anything that isn't like for the players and stuff that you could do in the Zeus, be very minimalistic. I myself prefer to just set up the small minimum garrison, typically in towers or areas that are difficult to garrison later on. So let's put some CSAT guys in some of these towers. We'll put some turrets in. Now, this is the GMG. We're going to put one GMG up here. Right on the facing the road. And we'll take some HMGs and put them over here and in the other tower. To raise or lower anything in the editor, you hold left Alt. If you wish to change their which way they're initially facing, I almost said focusing there. Facing, hold left Shift and click and drag. If they are grouped up, we'll for an example like this, hold left Control, click and drag to degroup them, or vice versa, click and drag to group them. Now let's get back to this. We won't put anything there, and we'll put another HMG here. There we go. Alright, let's put another guy in each of these towers. Let's just put a rifleman in each. So, we'll put one here, and we'll put him into this tower. Now, let's press Ctrl-C to copy him, so we can paste him elsewhere, where we need him. And put him in each of the towers, to give it a light garrison. Alright, we have this AO set. Now, let's take a look at this a bit again. This building, there's a lot of slots in it, and same with this one, there's a lot of space in it. We can garrison those later. We can garrison other troops around later. And we can add more stuff to the AO later in Zeus. So, we can be done here. Be it as it may, for yourself, if you feel more comfortable placing more down in the editor, feel free. If you do not, that is also perfectly okay. If you do not want to put anything down until you enter into the Zeus module, that is also perfectly okay. It all depends on who you are. So let's head back to Stratus Air Base. And let's set it up so these players are ready to move on. So let's go to Attributes and go to General. Let's give our mission a name. And we're going to call this Zeusing. Tips and Tricks. And we're going to press OK. Alright, we've given our mission a name. Back under Attributes, let's go to Multiplayer. Let's change the game type to something that befits this, Zeus. And under Enable AI, let's uncheck that box. Why do we uncheck the box, you might ask? Well, that's pretty simple. When you have the box enabled, those slots with the purple ring around it and the red ring, any playable slots, will be able to be filled by an AI if they are not filled initially by a player. Or post. after launch with a player. Basically, if a player is not in that slot, an AI will instead take it. You can leave it enabled if you would like AI to take the unfilled slots, but I personally prefer to turn them off. Now, we have a respawn point, but respawn's disabled, so let's change that. Let's change it to custom position on death. And let's check the box of respawn position and uncheck respawn counter. Unchecking respawn counter is nice if you don't have the respawn tickets. If you do, it's kinda nice to have that on. So respawn delay. Technically, you could have no delay, but it is recommended that you have a minimum of 5 seconds. Why? This prevents the... Although it does happen rarely, there is still a bit of a glitch that can occur that are with the respawn system that if you do not have a small delay, the players can either spawn within each other, preventing them from being able to interact with the world, or move, or do anything except die, or it could prevent their respawning entirely. So we're going to go with that, and we're going to press OK. Alright, so we have that all set. Now we've done some things, we have our basics for our AO, and we have our target. Let's make it a bit more interesting. Let's add an objective marker. We'll put in a red objective marker here. Under the text file, you can enter in the name of a text, such as assault position. And then it will appear right next to it in the same color that the icon is. And we'll add a little flag over at base to indicate that this is the HQ. And we'll make it the color of blue 4. If I can click blue 4. Alright, we've done that. We've done some work on the map, we've done some work on the ground. Alright, now, here's some little stuff. Let's say you want to change the name of the squad. Well, if you have a specific name for the squad, click on the little box. It'll be a rectangle for blue 4, a diamond, or, well, sideways square, if you will, if you don't know what a diamond is, for OP4, a green square for independent, and a purple square for civilian. So let's double click on that. And under call sign alpha12, let's change it and make it, and call them the assault team. Alright, now that squad's call sign is known as the assault team. Sweet. Now, how do we make this base a bit live? Well, we could add some friendly AI just kind of standing around and guarding the base, adding some immersion, if you will. So let's do that. Let's add a couple riflemen to some of these towers. Then we'll add a man right there, and one right here. And over here. And we'll add some on the command center building. Alright. And you can add or remove them as you see fit, depending on what you want. Just keep in mind that there's no point in adding stuff if the players are never going to go near it. Alright. We've done that. Now let's look inside the base. Let's set up a little bit of ambiance inside. That is the wrong button. Well, how do we set up and make this base look a bit more alive? Well, let's go to furniture and add some objects. In the camping section under furniture, you can find the tables, what's called camping tables. They are very nice overall for setting up in an FOB location. So we're going to set a couple there and add some chairs to the sections. Move them a little closer. There we go. Alright, and we'll add a small table here. Now, under Office, you can actually find whiteboards of the various vanilla base assets, and blank ones if you would like to add your own image. So let's find one of Stratus that's standing up on its own. There we go. And we have it angled. There we go. Now we have a briefing area. But these tables are a little blank. Why have them? Well, let's change that. Let's go to Things, and go to Electronics, and we'll start over here. Let's grab laptops, and we'll put some laptops here. Make these guys be monitoring stuff. Communications, doesn't matter what they're monitoring stuff. Alright, we have that set up. Now what about over here? Well, maybe another laptop might be a little too much, a little too repetitive. Alright, let's add something else then. Let's go into Intel. Under Intel, you can find little objects like these. So let's add a stack of paper. We'll add a little bit of secret documents, and we'll add a photo of CSAT. Let's angle them so that they fit better on this table. Now there's one other thing we need to do. Let's turn off surface snapping and go back to it, and we'll zoom in. While holding left alt, pick the objects up off the table. Typically this is best done with smaller objects to prevent them from, well, flying all over the place. Now let's see if we did this right. Let's grab our guy, the one with the player icon around it, the red ring, and move him back. And we'll turn surface snapping back on. And we'll take a look, and we'll see if we did this right. So we'll press play scenario. And there we go, we're loaded in. We have the map. We have the computers. Yep, they're positioned correctly. And there we go, these are positioned. Perhaps they float a little bit, but it's not the end of the world if they are floating just a tad. But let's lower them down a bit, as they seem to prefer floating. Alright, so we'll press escape, and return to the Eden editor. So let's go in and remove the surface snapping again. And let's lower them down. Let's make it a bit more realistic. About there and there. Let's try again. And whenever you're setting up any kind of small or detailed objects, make sure you try doing this. Always make sure that it works. Otherwise, you might run into instances like that, where the picture falls through everything. Alright, let's go back to the editor and change it again. Lift it up just a little bit more, and we'll try yet again. And there we go, Bob's your uncle, it works. And doesn't look like it's floating anymore. Cool. That's all set. Now we go back to the editor and go back to work. So why do we have these? Well, let's make it a bit more alive. Let's take some unarmed riflemen, ungroup them, and put them in front of the chairs. And we will and 4. We'll touch upon these guys in the Zeusing tutorial and tips and tricks video later. So, we're done with them. Alright, everything looks to be in order, but oh wait, I seem to have forgotten something. Very believable, aren't I, when I seem all forgetful? But we seem to be forgetting something. Vehicles. How do the players get to and from the AO? Well, let's add some. Let's turn off the place vehicles with crew box in the bottom, and go to cars. Let's give them an MATV with an HMG, and then 2 without any arms. In the vanilla game, these are also known as hunters. Alright, That's more than enough transportation for 9 people. They can choose which ones they want to take and how many they wish to take. Alright. Very nice. Now that we have this done, we'll save it again. We'll do a nice little save, make sure we have everything saved, double check everything, make sure we placed it all that we want. And we have. Now, the final step to make this AO feel, well, not AO feel more alive, but to continue on the AO feeling more alive, let's see if we can add anything else. This front gate seems very lightly defended. Let's remove this rifleman and instead switch it out for a badger. We'll put him there, double click on him, and remove the fuel. So now he will not be able to move. There we go. We have some light defenses. And we have the AO feeling alive. If you really want to make the AO feel even more alive, we can add some vehicles or patrols going around. That's all we are going to do for now. So, now that we have our basic mission made, let's go into Scenario in the top left, and go to Export, and export it to multiplayer. Now your mission is made into a PBO file and is ready to be moved into your server, or whatever else you use for multiplayer, be it LAN or not. But it's ready for to be uploaded and be used as a multiplayer mission. So, thank you all for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe, and until next time everybody, see ya.